Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to Mexico. My name is Arjan Kaur. I was born here in Mexico country and in Mexico City. It is such a privilege to have these moments with all of you. I was born in 1958, so by now I'm 61 years old. And I want to talk about how the Guru and the Sikhism came into my life. And probably it is, you can consider a sad story, but I don't want to get into that. It's just that I will say some things, because those were very fundamental parts of my process of becoming a Sikh. When I was 10 years old, my mother died. And because we are in a country that 98% are Catholics. My family is not a practitioner Catholic, but we live in that mood. So when this situation happened, I just felt so hard that one question came to me, even though I was very little, just 10 years old. Why God gave this to me? So much pain. I could not understand. And because of this God of suffering and punishment, I couldn't handle that. So I had to search, not conscious, but very unconscious way, to search the answer of what had happened into my life. Because it was a moment of emptiness, of loneliness. Even though I do have a family. I had a father, well, he already died 10 years ago, and I have a brother and a sister. But by that time, I felt so alone that I have to answer those questions. Why to me? And what this is all about. So I start searching in so many ways. There were spiritual ways, or paths, or philosophies, mental philosophies, spiritual or spirituality paths. And on the way, parallel to that, I start becoming, to adopt some habits of my own realization. Like I understood that I needed a guide. I needed somebody to translate to me in the way that I could understand what happened. Also, by those philosophies that I got into, I realized that I wanted to get rid of drinking or thinking to have alcohol in my life, or smoke. I stopped eating meat, and since I was 14 years old, something said to me that my hair was so precious for the design of my path that I wanted to go through. So, and I also adopted a kind of uniform. I started to wearing white and blue, and so I became a very rare thing to my community by that time. And when I was 18 years old, somebody invited us, and I said us because I was in a group, a spiritual group, where my sister my sister Radhika, who is also a Sikh right now, and we have come through all this path together. So somebody invited us to a yoga class. So we went into these 3HO ashrams. Probably some of you are familiar to this. These 3HO ashrams are places or communities where we have the yoga path and also the Sikh path together. We wake up very early in the morning, we do our yoga, and then we have meditations the mantras come from the Siri Guru Granth Sahib. And also we do our ardas and we take our hukam. So that's the main practice that we have. So we came into this 3HO ashram to have this yoga class, and it was just amazing. It really took my breath out. But that was not the main thing, because on the weekend, on Sunday, this community had Gurdwara. So I can reduce my experience in 3 seconds that happened in my life. The first second was when I opened the Gurdwara door, and I just felt that the time has stopped. Just see that wonderful, that excellence, that grace that was happening there, the escenary, where the Palki Sahib was there, the Guru was there, the Granthi was there, shaking sorry, I forgot right now. So it was so amazed. And I can tell you, I was only 18 years old, so it was around 1977 when this happened. So I just got shocked. I got mute and just resolving in my inner self what was going on. The second, somebody get close to me and said, please bow and take a place in the Sangat. And I didn't have any question to do it. So I bowed and I got a chance to sit in the Sangat. But I can assure you that in another circumstance, I could have never done that. But there was such a special vibration there that I just couldn't deny to bow. And the third second was when somebody gave to me the sheets of the Shabbats that they were sung by that time. And I start putting my eyes into the Gurumukhi. I didn't know what language that was. But I just put my eyes on there and the translation, because they have the translation in Spanish, so I could understand since the beginning everything that was going on. And when I realized what I was reading, I said, my God, I am at home. I came to that place that is waiting for me. And it is exact place for what I want. I was searching, and that experience just got into my cells. So why Guru? By those 3 seconds. Since there, I just have to obey. To obey whatever he said, that wake up in the Amrit Vela. I'm ready for the Amrit Vela. Wake up to put your turban on, to get your presents ready, and get your banis read and everything. So I became a daughter of Guru Gobind Singh and my mother Mata Sahibji. And since then, so it's 40, if my counts are not wrong, probably 42 years that I have been a Sikh. And here in Mexico, in the Sangha, I have been serving with the kirtan, with the service of having the gurdwara every 15 days. And also when I start experience the Sikh life, parallel to that, also my beloved teacher Harbhajan Singh Jogi and the yoga gave me all those tools of the technique of the Shabad Guru. So it came to be very scientific, the way of my approach to the Sikhism, because to have the Shabad Guru on my hand, to understand that also when we repeat the Shabad, that it is inad, it brings us the experience of universality, because gets away our fears, our insecurities. So we can come to be that possible human to experience health, happiness, and holiness. Also, music was at my home in my earlies, because I come from a family that are musicians. I had the privilege that my father was a tenor, he was a singer, and also my brother and sister also went to a music schools. And when I was 5 years old, between 5 or 6 years old, I went to my private music classes. I learned to play the piano. And so it's kind of easy for me to catch up the music, the shabads, the rhythm, the things that it's needed to sing the praises of the Lord, our Guru Nanak praises or words. And also I have done some pauris of the Japji or some Shabbats, very short Shabbats. I have create a Spanish version, so for the Spanish speakers can be more available to understand what we are singing. Just as I start with a pauri Antanasifti, that is such a wonderful pauri. It says that my mind just cannot conceive what the world, the manifestation of God is. So I also, after I finish my introduction, I want to share with you some shabads that I want to sing, just for a few moments. And because of we have been serving the Sikh community here in Mexico, we are around today 3,000 probably Mexican Sikhs. We have converted to Sikhism, and we are so devoted, we are so into practice the Sikhism. Also, because we have come to be expert of singing, we also have an organization, religious organization called Sikh Dharma of Mexico, that gives us support to the Sangat and coordinates all the events that happen here in Mexico. So we are a very active Sangat, and I do have the privilege to serve all my Sangat. And since probably Mexican Sangat or the 3HO farms have been here in Mexico since 72. Our beloved also brother Babaji Singh was the first yogi and Sikh that opens this 3HO ashram. So by the time in 1999, we were a team of peers that went to India to celebrate the 300th anniversary of Vaisakhi, the installation of our family, the Khalsa family. And also in Mexico, we've been celebrating since 86 Vaisakhi in many ways. And the main thing is to get together as a Sangat and to sing songs that inspire us to engage with that Chardikala spirit and to live our lives in that way. Also, we have since probably 7 years ago been having from North America and England country Punjabi migrants to get in touch with us and to perform Anand Karaj in the Caribbean, in the Riviera Maya of Cancun here in Mexico. So we also are serving our international Sangat with that very, very unique occasion of Anand Karaj. So since I took my Sikh vows, it was in 78, all my life changed. And I have received so many gifts. And one of those gifts is my beloved husband. And we do have a son, only one son, Satpur Singh. He is not today with us because he lives in Cancun, and we couldn't make the proper arrangements so he can be online with us. But he's in the spirit also sharing with all of you. So we are 3 persons getting we call the Sifti Jata. One is the Granthi, who is my husband, and the tabla player is my son, Satpur Singh, and the main singer in the harmonium, myself, Sardani Sahib, Arjan Kaur Khalsa. And I do want to, also when we will sing, I do have the privilege to be accompanied with our very lovely friend Francisco Bringas, who also is Mexican, and he is a master of tabla player. So he will be accompanying us today when we sing. But I want you to introduce to my beloved husband, who has been always a support for me, and not because of my husband, of my teacher also, to share with me, to tell me how to sing the Gurbani correctly. So I do want to introduce my husband, and you will get a very good surprise that my husband is from Punjab.
Khalsa, actually, this is a time for Arjan Kaur. Harjot invited her to do this presentation. But for 40 years, always where she is, I am over there. Where I am, she has to be there. So we are a team that's called 1 and 1, that makes 11. So this 11 has given us necessary force and resources and inspiration to keep serving our community and living happy life in Mexico. For many people say me, why do you live in Mexico? I came from India in 75. I was 24 years. Lived in Europe for 6 months. Then I traveled also from Kabul. I traveled to Europe by road. Then I went to South America. I traveled for 1.5 months up to Mexico, all the way by road with my turban and beard. Nobody asked me to put off my turban. So I wanted to stay in Mexico for some time. And by the time I met Mexican Sikhs, particularly Babaji Singh Khalsa. He expired in 2008. So, and by the time I was learning yoga, I was going to the university. I met Yogiji in 76. And really, it inspired me that how a Sikh, Punjabi Sikh can inspire Western people, particularly in Mexico, to practice Sikhism. So that was for me, that was a sufficient reference for the wisdom of Harbhajan Singh Yogiji. So soon I adopted him as my teacher. We call it a spiritual guide. And also he engaged me with Arjan Kaur. We married in 79. And then we made project of working in Mexico. So here we are. A Sikh Center Mexico was established in year 2000. Also we have Sikh Center in Cancun. I dedicate my to business, and now I'm trying as parallel organic agriculture. So anytime come to Mexico City or come to Cancun, it will be really pleasure to receive you. And also you can know more about Mexico, about Mexican Sangat. And thanks for watching us, and thanks for this time. Thanks Arjan Kaur for this time. Thanks Harijot Singh for this time. Blessings. Happy Vaisakhi to everybody. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
And if you have any questions, we will sing this beautiful Shabad Amrit Sarvich Jota Jugave. If we have time, then I would like to share a Vaisakhi moment of Khalsa Mero Rupa Hai Khas, if we have time. But we are here to serve you. Please come to Mexico. It's a wonderful land. It's a wonderful country. And we will be here waiting for you. And after that, if you have some questions, it will be for us an honor to have the answer for whatever you want to know about us, So here is with me my friend and my dear one, Francisco. He's Mexican, and as I told you before, he's a tabla player, a professional tabla player. So we will be singing this next Shabad, Amritsar Vich Jot Jogave. Oh, place outside of me, in Amritsar, and within me, my own altar. O Guru Ramdas, you are with me all the time. And you are my lineage through Guru Arjan. Make us be in that state of meditation where we realize that we are the chosen ones. Vaheguru.
ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋਤ ਜਗਾਵੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋਤ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।